There are stars whose brilliance is broadcast, whose names echo in sneaker commercials, late-night talk shows, and headline after headline. But then there are those who carried greatness quietly. Not because they lacked the skill, but because they wore their excellence like a well-worn jersey, unassuming, dependable, and quietly powerful. And in that rare company stands Tim Duncan. If basketball were a symphony, Duncan would be the cello. Deep, steady, and often underappreciated until the music swells and you realize he's been holding the whole thing together. He wasn't flashy. He didn't flex. He didn't crave the microphone. He simply played, precisely, relentlessly, and with a kind of timeless grace that made fundamentals feel like poetry. Born in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Duncan didn't grow up dreaming of hardwood courts under NBA spotlights. He was a swimmer first, graceful in water long before he was dominant in the paint. But when a hurricane destroyed his local pool, fate nudged him toward a basketball court. The rest, as they say, is history, though Duncan would never say it that way himself. He arrived in San Antonio like a gentle breeze, not a storm, and yet he changed everything. Alongside David Robinson, he ushered in a new era. With Popovich, he built a dynasty not through force or flash, but through consistency, trust, and selflessness. The Spurs weren't built to dazzle, they were built to last. And Duncan was the cornerstone. Game after game, season after season, he let his play speak. Bank shots kissed off the glass like old jazz records. Soft, precise, never rushed. His defense was a masterclass in timing, not intimidation. He didn't block shots for the highlight reel. He did it because it was the right play, always the right play. He won 5 championships, he earned 2 MVPs, he played nearly 2 decades without ever demanding the spotlight. But ask anyone who faced him, anyone who tried to post him up or drive past him or box him out, and they'll tell you Tim Duncan was a problem. A quiet one. The kind that never goes away, never fades, never breaks. He wore the same expression whether up 20 or down 10. He celebrated like a man who'd been there before, because he had. And when the moment was biggest, Duncan's heartbeat never quickened. The game slowed down for him, not because he was fast, but because he was wise. He didn't give the press many sound bites, he didn't stir drama, he didn't market himself. But he led. Oh, how he led. Young players followed his example not because they were told to, but because they saw in him a blueprint, a way to be great without shouting it. When he retired in 2016, there was no farewell tour, no speeches, no tears on camera. Just a quiet goodbye, the same way he entered. And maybe that's the beauty of Tim Duncan, a man who never needed the spotlight to shine. Today, when we talk about the greats, Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, we must not whisper Duncan's name. We must speak it with reverence, because while others soared through the air, Tim Duncan built his legend from the ground up. Solid, lasting, quiet, and utterly undeniable. He was never the loudest in the room, but history in its wisdom has a way of turning up the volume on those who mattered most. And in the echo of bouncing balls and fading cheers, we still hear him, steady as ever, the quiet soul of the game.